Miss Joanne had 14 operations as a result of issues she had after delivery. It was my very first kid, and the anguish she went through allowed her to learn wonderful things from a different perspective, some through direct experiences with Angel. So I had no idea my labor was off, but my child's head was comparatively big to pass via the pelvic area, and I did not realize I had short nerve canal at the time. So his head resting on that place for 91 hours caused nerve damage that wasn't discovered until 2000, later part of 2004. By the year 2004, I was already undergone many operations for removing all of my lady organs, which they blamed on my suffering. As a result, in 2005, I discovered a specialist who specializes in problems related to pelvic floor as well as huge quantities of persistent pelvic discomfort. He also stated that he believed I suffered prudential nerve constriction. As a result of various testing, they were able to confirm that I did indeed have that condition. I was also flown to France, where surgeons were about 20 years ahead of their American counterparts in terms of decompression surgery, and they had sent myself there thinking I'd have 30% possibility of a good life, instead of hemorrhaging to death due to the procedure used to sew my nerves. And I ended the extravaganza up with 3 operations inside 3 days, about 2 months in the hospital and 8 months in a bed, but I encountered angels. My operating room was fairly vast, and the ceilings were pretty high. My spirit did go up, and it stayed awake, and I could pass judgment even to this day, because it's so engraved in my mind, and I could tell you where the physicians were, and even the nurses were, and who was shouting at who, and although I couldn't speak the language. And then the angel came. I'll tell you about it. When I told you my tale, it seemed like clouds of love was falling over you, and I knew I'd arrived at my destination. Even now it brings up strong emotions to me. I had been rescued. Since I was 33 years old, I was raised as a religious person and have always trusted in angels, but I didn't get personal contact with them until I was 33 years old. So I was in my early 40s when I moved to France, so I did have faith, but I'd gone through a lot of tragedy and grief. Meeting the angels face to face, on the other hand, altered everything, and he stated I had a long road ahead of me. Even then, I didn't really like to return, but he informed me that there would be a lot of work for someone like me to do, but I had a choice, and my son appeared in front of me right away, but it was a hologram, as I described it. This wasn't a movie, and it wasn't a photograph. My son was standing in front of me. I'm not sure how that works. Angel, on the other hand, is Angel, and I knew then that if I didn't return, my kid would be unaware, and no one has mentioned anything to me about it. So what was it? Do you want to talk about guilt or coercion? That isn't Angel at all. It was all about love. I saw my kid without a mother for the first time. As a result, I didn't even respond to the angel verbally, and he stated it just how you want. In agony, I learned to hear the angel's voice. Getting up at 4 a.m., burying my face inside the carpet, and waiting for him taught me that. I learned to be a thinker rather than a doer, and I did come back to my flesh after he said it to me, and in the surgery room, and then offered me this decision. I seemed to have no idea what was in store for me, but since he had uttered those things to me, I knew he would never abandon me, because you can't see where Angel is operating in the middle of your anguish. With your human thinking, you lose sight, and that the only way out is to get back on my knees, back upon my face, and dive into Angel's world again, to learn his words and shout them loudly over my life. To refresh your mind is to change your life, and that's exactly what we had to do while we were going through those hardships and didn't have Angel's love. I'm not sure how anyone can handle anything like that. I've already undergone 13 operations, and Stanford physicians told me I'd need another hip surgery. So we're going to take a guess and have this pass through your insurance, this doctor added. At that moment I thought to myself, Angel, I can't do this again, because I had work to do, and that all I could think about was one surgery after another. I had completely lost faith in myself. And as I was getting into the elevator at Stanford, I could hear the actual voice of Angel say, "Contend for your recovery." And I didn't actually realize what the phrase meant at the time. I came home shaking. My husband had to drive me home because I was in so much pain, and I looked up and just really learned to reroute love of the angel, which we must hold on to no matter what our circumstances look like. And in the midst of all that, the angel did end up speaking to me through quantities of books I was reading about recovery is for today, and I was able to share this with my husband. And I wondered, what if healing were available today? How am I not able to view it? I pray for all these folks, yet I didn't see either of their faces. And afterwards, the angel made it very obvious to me that I needed to attend conference right now. As a result, I went to this event where I was in horrible agony, and the guy came to see me after I had been prayed for by at least 100 people that week, but I didn't get cured. In a variety of ways, the angel had a profound impact on my life. I felt strong and enthusiastic, but my body was still racked with discomfort. Suddenly, a guy appeared and pleaded for me, but I would say it about the guy who is now my friend. He was well aware of his own identity, authority, and relationship with Angel. Despite the fact that he was well aware of his identity, he was not waiting to receive, not for an answer, since the angel had instructed him to come to speak for me. When he was through praying for me, I thanked him. During our time together, he guided me through healing and recovery, spiritual cleaning, and my agreement with hatred against Angel and bitterness towards Angel. Ultimately, it came down to my rejection problems, feeling unforgiven, deep scars from my upbringing, and the way I thought about myself, believing that I would never be great enough. Those deceptions served as a breeding ground for the enemy's deceptions. Everyone who believes is called to pray for the sick, to pray for freedom, to pray for our people, to lift the spirit pressure out of our lives. I think we were all called to raise the dead as a result of our belief system. It is not our responsibility to speculate on when something will occur. It is our responsibility of honor and our cooperation to carry out this work.